John Rzeznik, Goo Goo Dolls, great to have you here at noise11.com. It's been a long, long time since we first had you in an Australian chart.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's nice to be back. Nice to be coming down there again so soon. I mean, I think it'll be about a year.
A year and a bit of change.
Yeah.
And coming down this time, that was with Matchbox 20. But you've done so many shows. You've had people open for you. You've opened for other people. You've been on stages with David Bowie, James Brown. Like Aerosmith. When I look at the list of people that you have worked with over this long career, do you get to meet all these people as well?
Yeah, most of them. I mean, some of them I don't want to meet just because I'm a little apprehensive that I'll meet them and they will be mean. So I just I've got to meet some really interesting people. Most people are pretty nice, but there's a few who I won't mention that weren't very nice.
Yeah,
but I mean, we've got to tour with Bon Jovi and the Rolling Stones, and it's been an amazing career so far.
Time for the John Rzeznik movie. Who's going to play you?
No one. Not me.
Biopics are all the big thing at the moment. I'm surprised no one's thought about doing a Goo Goo Dolls one.
Nah, nobody'd show up.
Yeah. I tell you what, considering that there has been 30-something years with Goo Goo Dolls, you've been down here a relatively short amount of times in that time. I mean, yes, 2024, we had you down here earlier in the year. But we go back to 2011, 2002, 1999. I think there might have been the occasional promo tour in there. But really, this is only the fifth time you've been here touring.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of odd, but for some reason it was like, I don't know why. They never put it on our schedule. Even though we would ask, and then it was just like, well, we don't have time to do that this time. Like, okay, fine. So we're trying to make up for lost time.
1987 was the first album. That was 37 years ago. Now, 37 years before 1987 was 1950. And the number one song in 1950 was Gordon Jenkins' Goodnight Irene. So here we are, 2024. John Rzeznik, you've reached your Gordon Jenkins stage of the career.
Great. I don't even know who Gordon Jenkins is.
Well, the song Good Night, Irene. You should end with that on the Australian tour as a tribute to how far down the track you are with a career.
Maybe that's the walkout music,
Yeah. There's been 13 studio albums. Well, do we count the Christmas album as a studio album? 14.
14. I'm working on the 15th one right now.
Okay, and we'll be seeing that 15th one arrive before February. Will that be here before you get here in February 2025?
No. I'm still in the writing process of it right now, and I have a producer, and we're just still sort of working on it. Now I have this massive pile of ideas. And then I have to sort of dig through that and this is crap. This is good. I'll hang on to that. That's got to go. I can't believe I actually wrote that. Just stuff like that. So I'm in the process of editing right now.
There's been a couple of singles that we've had over 2023, 2024. Are they going to be the basis for the next album?
No, I don't think I'm going to put those songs on it. It depends how ambitious I become. I mean, I'm sure they'll wind up on something because I guess that's the way the world works now. You write a song and then you just put it out. I prefer to have a whole body of work,
One of those songs.
Like a whole album.
Yeah, Run All Night has made the set list. There's been a couple of songs from Miracle Pill that I've been noticing popping up in 2019. There hasn't been a real lot from Chaos in Bloom that has been going into the more recent set. Is that deliberate? Why that?
No, we just didn't have time when we were down there to put those songs in. So it was like we had a very limited amount of time, so we wanted to play all the songs that everyone knew, because we hadn't been there in so long, and it's sort of like, you know, people pay money to hear the songs, see you perform the songs that they know. So that's, why we did that. But the good part about headlining is that you can dig a lot deeper into your catalog and play some deeper cuts. There's a couple of songs off of Chaos that I really want to put in the set. There's a song called Superstar in there,
Hmm.
and a song called Going Crazy. Um, and then there was Yeah, I Like You, which, yeah, I mean, that whole album was sort of, I wanted to produce it myself, and really, that was kind of like the pandemic record where it was just, there was a lot of angst going on at that point in my life.
Yeah, there's a lot from Dizzy Up the Girl, A Boy Named Goo. Those sort of albums are sort of the centerpiece, I guess, of who this band was. Isn't it incredible? A song like Name that you wrote when you were in your 20s still. And here you are approaching 60. You're going to be taking this song into the next decade. Songs that you were writing as a 20-year-old, early 30s are basically your superannuation fund.
Wait, a what? A what fund?
A superannuation fund. I don't know what you call that over there. You know, where you put a little bit of money aside through your entire working career and you get it back when you retire.
Oh yeah, and then Donald Trump gets elected president and says, "No, nobody's getting it. It's mine. I'm going to give it to all my billionaire friends."
John, just a piece of advice, John. You're coming
No
to Australia in
politics.
2025. You don't have to
Yeah.
have a return ticket.
Do you think I could overstay my visa? Because I have to tell you, when I lived in Los Angeles, every attractive female bartender in Santa Monica, California, was Australian, and
Is that
they and
right?
they all overstayed their work visa.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow. Pretty
so
much
maybe I
every
could get a job being a janitor down there or something.
well, pretty much every actor on an American movie is an Australian these days.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, what's going on down there? What's with all the really good actors and all the bands?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you guys, you got this thing. I mean, it was like last time I was there, it was really, really fun because it's like it's things are so sort of tense here. And it was just nice to go down there and kind of chill out. Everybody had this really kind of just laid back vibe about them, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, look, we can explain the actors and we can explain the musicians. The actors go to a school called NIDA in Sydney and Melbourne. They learn
Hmm.
a particular technique that sets them up to go into what we have down here as soap operas, Neighbours, Home and Away, and they're on every
Yeah.
day, 5 days a week. So they learn their
Yeah.
trade 5 days a week. Margot Robbie,
Wow. Oh,
Mel Gibson, or people like that. They've all come through that level of training. And it's not a level of training that you get anywhere else in the world. I think that explains why they've all become so big. The Australian bands, you go back to the 70s, the pub rock culture in Australia,
hmm
AC/DC, INXS, Cultures,
hmm
the Angels, Midnight Oil, you look
Yeah.
Rose
Oh,
Tattoo, you look
Midnight
at all of
Oil.
those. They all came out of the Australian pub circuit. So,
Right.
and that was a time when they were performing probably 6 shows a week and
Yeah.
releasing 2 albums a year.
That's
That
pretty
discipline doesn't
incredible.
exist anymore.
Yeah, no, it doesn't at all, and it's kind of like, well, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that like nobody makes any money selling records anymore because nobody buys records anymore. And you make crap for streaming. Like people stream your songs and it's like, you know, it's like you make no money. So it's like you got to go out and you got to play live, and that takes a lot of time. I just think the business has changed so much. It's like it's not as much fun as it used to be honest with you, dealing with the business. Now, we're lucky because we get to play live, and that's how we earn a living, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're in a position to answer the question about, being able to sell 1 million albums back in the 90s versus, congratulations, just getting 2 billion streams for Iris on Spotify. I mean,
Thank you.
how does that compare?
Uh, you know,
Have
selling a
you got two
million records.
Ferraris John? Is there two?
No.
Is there the platinum record Ferrari and the Spotify Ferrari, or have you got a platinum record Ferrari
Yeah,
and a Spotify Kia?
I have I don't have a Ferrari. I have a platinum record Ford Bronco, and my Spotify billion streams. I have a Matchbox car of the little Bronco that I drive around. Okay, so that's that's my life.
Wow, that's well, I mean, it's honest and it's sad but true.
We were really lucky that we went out. I see the thing was we came up very much the same way as a lot of the bands in Australia in that pub culture. We would go out, we would play 4 nights a week, and we would just you were constantly playing in front of 10 people, 20 people. Hopefully 30 people showed up the next time. And we were brought up in a culture where record making was important, and creating a whole body of work, from beginning to end, and going out and touring in support of that record to sell those records. And the business is sort of flipped on its head now. And and there's a handful of very, very wealthy tech bros that are making all the money. So
Mm,
what are you going to do?
yeah,
It's
you
like
also
it's the same way of screwing artists out of what they deserve. It's like basically, I would like to remind the people that run Spotify that without the artists, they have an empty vending machine. Um, and I wish that all the artists could get together and just say, "No, we're not doing this for this crap money." But the truth is, if the 10 biggest streaming artists in the world said, "Nope, we're pulling all our stuff until you give us a fair deal," then you would see change. But that ain't going to happen because they're making all the money.
well, there's three
So,
major record labels: there's Sony, Universal, Warner. Right? I mean,
oh
if
yeah,
any one of
yeah,
them pulled their entire catalog out of Spotify, Spotify would crumble.
yeah. But the record companies are in bed with the streaming services, so
Mm.
I may live to rue the day that I ever opened my mouth and said that, but that's a
No,
fact.
it's a
Um,
reality. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Goo Goo Dolls also happened at a time where song structure mattered. You look at, you that mid 90s, you'd come off the
Mhm.
back of like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Nirvana. It all just happened, and along comes
Mhm.
Goo Goo Dolls. So you
Mhm.
had to be good to be heard at that point when you
Yeah.
came along. A song like Name, I listened to that song, and the structure of that song is so perfect. You could teach it in schools in a songwriting course on how to write a song.
Thank you very much. That's a high compliment, considering I don't know how to read or write music. You know.
Well, that's all right. I don't know how to talk or write news either, but I have to do it every day.
And yet, you have a successful career in the media. So
Well,
there you go.
I do like to point out that I've avoided working for the last 40 years.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
I
by
mean,
talking to
I
people like
mean,
you.
yeah. I mean, I put three chords together and a hook, and yeah, and then I don't have to become a postman. You know.
Yes. Well, a postman is a job that's going to be obsolete soon, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
maybe not, or maybe
unfortunately.
not. Go back to that movie City of Angels, the song Iris. Was Iris written for the movie, or did they just take the song for the movie?
No, I wrote the song. I wrote the song for the film. I was working with a guy named Danny Bramson, who was the music supervisor on that film, and he said, "Johnny," he's called me on the phone. He's like, "Johnny, I think this would be really good for you. I think you could do this." And so I went and saw. I went to his office. I saw like a screener of the film, and he said, "I want you to write a song for this part of the movie." And I watched it, and then I said, "Okay, let me watch the whole film." And then I realized it was sort of a remake of Wings of Desire, which is a great film. In case you've never seen it, it's a beautiful, beautiful movie, and that movie was sort of based on that, and it became immediate to me in my head. It's like, well, if I were the Nicolas Cage character, okay, and I had immortality, I didn't feel pain. It's like, what would I say to this person? And it's like this guy was willing to give up everything just to feel what it felt like to love someone. And then later, I mean, he realizes how unbelievably painful it can be, you know? So I related to that story. I think we all relate to that story.
Great song, great movie. When was the last time you watched the movie?
When I was at the premiere of the film, when I was sitting behind Nicolas Cage looking at the back of his head. That was it.
It's one of those songs that you cannot not play in a show. Have you ever left it out?
No, 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 no. That would be bad form, I think. I think that would be an insult to our audience and to people who, pay to get tickets to a show. I mean, it's like, I think a lot of people come to see that song. So it's like, it would be like, the Rolling Stones not doing Satisfaction or something like that. Not that I'm comparing us to them, but because they're iconic, and and but you got to give people what they want. I mean, I'm a songwriter, but I'm an entertainer too, or at least I try to be entertaining. Um, and I like when people sing the words to the songs. I like when people, because everybody, this is what I love about that song, Iris. And there's a lot of other songs that we've written um, that people have the same sort of relationship with. It's like people have a relationship with that song. Everybody remembers a moment in time that song was part of. And they tell me about it. I hear every day when I'm on tour, you know, I hear every day a story, at least one story about what that song means to somebody. And that's the best part about my job, you know.
I guess when you've been
Yeah.
around for so long, certain songs, they become ingrained in the set list. Do songs take on almost like a season ticket type position? Like is Dizzy
Yeah.
always number one?
No, we switched that out, in and out. It's, it was just for that particular tour, that was the one, you know. I try to vary our set lists up a little bit, but I don't do a very good job at it. Robbie puts the set lists together, and then I go, no, yes, yes, maybe, I don't think so. We need two more songs here, blah, 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 whatever. That's all inside stuff. Nobody cares about that.
Can you throw songs on just off the cuff? Can you throw a song into a set list?
Sometimes I do, and sometimes it's a train wreck. Sometimes I do, and sometimes it's amazing. But I mean, we're definitely going to have a longer show, so we'll be able to swap some songs in and out, and play more. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, you've got the greatest hits of singles, which is pretty incredible, isn't it? Because basically, there's 37 years of your career wrapped up into a greatest hits record. Your entire life is summarized into 52 minutes and 47 seconds.
God, help me. I just think about my poor dad getting up every day at 4:30 in the morning to go to work.
Yeah. On your deathbed, when instead of your life flashing before your eyes, they'll just play the greatest hits record to you.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll be dead before it's over.
Well, hopefully you'll be alive for February 2025 so we can see you down in Australia again.
Last time I was down there, I got COVID, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna die," But we powered through.
It's Aussie COVID,
cool.
though. You get rid of Aussie COVID with the Fosters.
Listen, I have to tell you, I don't drink anymore, but when I was able to get my hands on Victoria bitters, and I know it's not the bougie beer down there, but I love Victoria bitter. We were trying to find an Australian to go to the Australian consulate in Los Angeles and somehow get invited to a party so we could drink Victoria Bitter because they told us they have it at the Australian consulate.
Wow. Okay, you'll have to grab yourself a six-pack when you're down here. Carlton United Breweries, their head office is like 100 meters up the road from where I am.
Maybe, do you know anybody? You're in the media. You can work this out for us.
Well, South Melbourne, where I am here, that's the most heavily populated number of pubs per capita in the entire country.
Wow. You guys love to drink. So I got to say.
So I hear.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, boy, I went to, before I quit drinking, yeah, when we were down there, we had a lot of fun. You can get in a lot of trouble down there.
Well, you should go and look up a song by Slim Dusty, one of the biggest hits of 1980, a country song, I Love to Have a Beer with Duncan. So, if you're going to look at that, like number one song 1980 in Australia. So, and their other biggest hit, the first Australian hit ever in the world outside of Australia, was also Slim Dusty, 1958, A Pub with No Beer.
Wow.
So there you go, two drinking songs over a 30-year period.
It sounds like a sad place to be.
Like I say, there's no reason why you have to have a return ticket to America when you come out in February.
I have to divorce my wife and marry someone there.
Yeah. All right. Good to see you, John. Thanks for joining us here at Noise 11.
Great to see you. We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much.